Okay, today we are going to replace the engine bearing cover and the transmission bearing cover. This is important because they tend to break once you start to raise the horsepower. As you can see, and we'll show you a little later, there is an extra piece right here to protect the seal compared to the stock one. And we'll also show you the stock one tends to break in these two places. So we will pull that off and show you how to replace this. Okay, we've already removed the front cover and we've removed the secondary clutch and the primary clutch. So now we're just going to take off the back cover so that we can get to the bearing holders. There's actually 4 bolts to hold the whole thing on, and then it just slides off like this. Now we're going to replace this. As you can see, it's broke here and it's broke here. And then we're going to replace the engine bearing cover right here. So this one just uses silicone in order to seal it up. We can show you real quick how substantially different this is. As you can see, this area where it's been breaking has been substantially beefed up. Okay, we would recommend putting a thin coat of silicone and having the old one as a pattern so that you can see where you need to put the silicone. Okay, ready for installation. Make sure you get all the bolts started before you try and tighten any of them up. And we'll just run them in lightly to start with. And that should do it. Just need to make sure that you check the torque spec on the bolts and tighten them all to manufacturer spec. Okay, we are going to remove the engine bearing cover and replace it with a more substantial one. In order to do this, we will take this cover off. There is a bearing in it. In order to remove the bearing, you will need to warm the cover up slightly and tap the bearing out, and then the new cover you will warm in an oven to 400 degrees, and then just the bearing should just set in there nicely for you, and you can put the snap rings on. We'll show you a little bit more later. There is your bearing, your snap ring. Pull the snap ring out and then warm up the cover and push the bearing out, and then it should come with a new seal. As you can see, everything has been beefed up on this compared to the old one. And this is where it tends to break, so we've beefed this up a little bit. We recommend putting just a little bit of oil into the bearing so you're not installing a dry bearing. And then just check it by going around like this to make sure everything feels nice and smooth. This one is. So here is the new bearing cover. If you're wondering how to put it on, you look for this little notch right here, and it matches up with the plug on the side of the case. Then you will know you have it in the right place. Again, make sure that you start all of your bolts before you try and pull it in so that everything is started straight and nice. I'm just going to go in till we touch. Now that we are fully seated, you're going to want to take a torque wrench and torque them to the manufacturer's specifications for those bolts.